Alright, so I'm building a new ammo box, and I figured I'd go ahead and explain to y'all what I'm doing. First, you get the cutout diameter, and that's going to be the inner circle. And you get the outer diameter, that way you know where to space it out. Luckily with these speakers, like the kickers, I had a trim in the middle, on both sides of these speakers. Luckily these Poly Hydra, I don't have to, 5 1/4, I don't have to trim them, thank God. So I'm doing the same thing on this one since I sold my other one. Speakers on both sides, so it'll be 4 speakers all the way around. But I figured I'd do a little updates to show y'all what I'm doing. So now all I gotta do is, like I taped it up, size it to where I want it. Now all I gotta do is cut all these holes out, and I'll show y'all what to do next. Alright, so I got the hose drill out on both sides, and if you don't know how to do that, I did it with a jigsaw. What you do is you want to drill a hole first, so drill drill a hole, and it allows you to get the bit in there, then start cutting your things. So now moment of truth to see if these fit in there. Oh yes, they do. Now if you want to know how I made these little circle things, is like I said, you measure the inner and the outer diameter, and you go on Microsoft Word and go to shapes, and then you can type in your dimensions. It's already in inches, and you just, roll with it. And so now the next thing is I'm gonna go ahead and put my the little 3-way thing I had on the see, the 12-volt battery and all that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the lid, so I'm going to tape all that up. Okay, so now it's nighttime. Earlier was the daytime. So I went ahead and got this all drilled out, and these are different switches than the one I had in the last one, but they're waterproof, so they're big, waterproof. Everything's silicone. I got a silicone on the back side, I silicone the front, then I put it on. Did the same thing with this, silicone the front, put it on. You can see the little white marks from when I wiped all the silicone off. In the back side, I just went to town on silicone. Does not look the prettiest, but I wanted to make sure there's silicone every crack. Now it will look good because I'm going to sound deaden it. That way it don't rattle and sound too bad. So I'm gonna make sure I sound deaden it. You won't see most of this. You might see this, but it's okay because I wanted it to be silicone. I don't know how much silicone I got left. I got to use it for the speakers. If I have enough left, then I'll probably just fill in all that gap just to make sure nothing's gonna go anywhere. I'm actually building this for somebody. They want it to be waterproof. I'm not saying it's going to be submerged proof, but I mean, you could damn sure spray it off with a water hose and it's not going to affect anything. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for the other stuff to come in, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so it's Christmas, so I'm trying to get as much done as I can today because nothing else is coming in. So what I did was I siliconed the back side of the switches. I got them pretty good, and especially in those little cracks. Got this one good. So now what I'm starting to do is sound deadening it. That way it don't rattle. It's like, listen to this. Listen to this. I mean, once the lid's on, once the whole thing's done, you better tell a difference. Got the lid sound deadening, and these are just scrap pieces that I had, but it don't matter if it don't have to look pretty as long as it's covered in it. So now I'm about to go ahead and do the bottom, do the sides, and once that finished drying, I already got a little piece cut out for that. So yeah, I'm doing this right, making sure it's gonna sound good. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. All you do is measure and cut and just stick it in, and you get a little roller and roll it. So alright, so what I did on my last one was just mount the amp in between the switches. This amp is pretty dang long. But I mount it like this, up to where I can adjust the gain if I need to. Yes, I got a gain on there, but to tune it just right, I got it right there. So I'm gonna put this right here. And well, what I did on the last one, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit it. I should be able to fit it, but I'm gonna take this out. So just picture that in the middle. And the Bluetooth, just take some 3M double-sided tape or Velcro, and you just stick it down. Oh, I'm trying to see. I'm gonna get this cable towel. Okay, so I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, it'll fit. You just fit it up and down below the speakers. Okay, and then so if y'all remember my last video that I made about my last ammo box that I built just like this, the Bluetooth was making a noise that I didn't like, and about 3 y'all said buy a noise isolator. So I bought a noise isolator. Hopefully it doesn't make it too quiet. But what I'm gonna do with this one is come on this side with it. That way I got all the RCAs in one area, and the battery's gonna go on this side, and everything will be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything in and see how it comes. Alright, so I wanted to show y'all a change of plans. I scooted the amp over And you see those are sticking up. See, these are females, so they don't plug into anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the thicker RCAs, because I love working with thicker ones. I'm gonna go ahead and chop these off. Now these all say, you know, channel 3, channel 4, channel 1, and channel 2 and all that. Okay, so my last ammo box I built, if you don't remember me saying, even though this is channel 1, you know, channel 1's gonna be here, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4, for some reason it's actually input 1 and input 2. So if I put in only one input, for some reason it goes to all 4 speakers. At least that's how it was on my last amp. I don't know if the last amp was broken, but all I had to do was plug it in on one side and all 4 speakers work. What I wanted to point out to you guys is if you hook all this up and it doesn't work, one thing I just remembered is that if you look right, okay, so this is the main gain control. And I've actually this has happened to me on my other ammo box. That's the gain control. So if you stick a screwdriver, hold on, make sure I know what I'm doing. You can actually turn it all the way to the right because it is all the way turned down. And now you also got other crap on here that, you know, just in case you bump into it. You know, you got your polarity, which is the positive on positive, negative on negative. If something's wrong, like you hook up the speakers wrong, just hit that button and it'll reverse it. And then you got RCA and speaker. Yeah, they're out right now, so just leave them out. Okay, so there it is. It's nice and all mounted. Got the heat shrink, so now it just plugs on in there. Yes, it looks like a mess. Now this is for the auxiliary on the top part. I think I might just, you know, plug that in and, you know, zip tie the wire somewhere. Oh, man. So, actually, I got everything wired, nice and zip tied. Runs down here. Everything runs across. That's when it starts to get a little messy. And, you know, I try to keep it as clean as possible, these wires. So what's going to happen now is I actually need a couple more fuses, but the battery's going to go right here and it's going to be tall. So I need 2 things to be fused. The cigarette lighter, which is this, is going to be connected directly to the battery. It's not going to be on a switch. So that needs to have its own fuse. And I need to run a fuse which goes to all these switches and powers up all these switches. The amp is getting its own power source, so and that's on the fuse as well, so that is on its own power source. So it goes amp, Bluetooth, don't know. One of them is the USB charger and one of them is the voltage meter. I just know which wire it was. So like I said, all this is gonna, you know, I'm gonna zip tie this coming up nice and neat, and it's gonna fold over and connect into the battery. But you know, I got it as nice and neat as I possibly can for right now. And that wire's gonna go underneath the battery and it comes up into these switches. But yeah, I mean, that is as neat as I can get it. It's nice and compact. Speakers don't interfere with it. Just kind of, you know, goes in there pretty tight. So yeah, now tomorrow I'm just gonna silicone the speakers, bolt it in, go pick up a switch so these speakers can, see which side's the front. This side's the front, so I gotta make sure these switches are on a switch. That way, you know, he can control them if he wants them on or if he wants them off. So yeah, that's why this has a little bit of extra space right there. Okay, so I did get the speaker switch in, you know, to turn the speakers, these rear speakers on and off. So now I'm gonna go do, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, silicone them, throw them all in, and then I'm gonna worry about the fuses. See, I got the fuses here. I'll worry about those once I get the battery in tonight. So alright, I got all the speakers in there nice and bolted. I got all the wires I need to run whenever the battery comes in today. So let's see, silicone, everything's bolted in, starting to get crowded, but you know, the battery's gonna fit right there. And like I said, if I had silicone left over, I was gonna make this look a lot nicer, and I think that is more pleasing to look at than what I had before. So so now, like in my last ammo box that I had like this, I got to stagger these to where you can have an aux cord, couple phone chargers, whatever the guy wants to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that after I put the camera down. And like I said, now I'm just waiting on the batteries and just go, you know, get a, cause you know, I got wire some fuses. I got this really thick red wire right here. That goes to the amp. Well, see, the amp already has a fuse down there that you can't see. So hopefully that fuse will never have to pop, and if it does, it's going to be a bitch to change. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know, wait on that battery, because, you know, I got that thick wire, which already has a fuse, and I got these 2 red wires. One red wire goes to the cigarette lighter on the front panel, and one goes to all the other switches for the Bluetooth, the voltage meter, and the USB charger. So I'm going to put all that on fuse, and if you're wondering, I'm only going to put a 10 amp fuse because I don't think they're going to use that much, but if they start popping, then I'll put 15 amp fuses. So yeah. Alright, so it's finally done. Got everything wired up, battery finally came in. These buttons are big, not too big on them, but they look alright. So it is pretty jam tight in there. Got the battery charger stuck in here. Got everything for him ready to go there. So that thing's ready to go out.